very good afternoon and salams from Iqtedar Abdi and Suniye Tau, and we have pleasure again in welcoming Mr. Zahid Jamil, who is a well-known personality, a social um, personality in terms of a person who is very active in helping out various communities around Sydney, Australia, and of course India, as well as some other countries that he may wish to talk about today. So we welcoming again. We have all talked about some aspects of the war in Middle East in the past episodes. But this time, once again, I have great pleasure in welcoming Zahid Bhai. Zahid Bhai, salam, and please say your first few words for our audience.
Well, thank you, Iqtedar. Thank you very much for calling me back on this very good program of yours. And I should say salam and namaskar and sastrikal, all those. And of course, very good, have good Christmas. This is the Christmas time, and we are all celebrating the great festival. It is the festivities in these countries, and we are all enjoying the holiday period. That is most important for us. So, and but you are still engaging yourself in this beautiful, in this very dedicated work, what you have been doing for years, and I'm pleased to be here with you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for taking out time despite the holiday season, and we had to accommodate you based on a number of things, but eventually we are meeting, and as per our earlier discussions separately, we have decided that some of the points that you're going to talk about is, first of all, about IMEA. Please tell us what you wish to inform our viewers. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, I mean, let's first talk about this charitable work, which I have been engaging in for the past few years. IMESA, it is Indian Minority Education Society of Australia.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is a not-for-profit body, ACNC registered, Australian Charities and Not-for-Profit Commission. It is we are registered with them, and we have also got a DGR endorsement, which is the tax deductibility status. So that is, we in fact got it only recently after a lot of efforts, because our funds are going overseas. So there are extra things which need to be done, and it goes through very strict regulatory process. Sure. And where we got it because it has to go through Department of Foreign Affairs, because the funds are going overseas. So IMESA basically aims to increase the educational levels of poor marginalized communities in India, in particular Muslims. As we know that Muslims in India are among the most socio-economically backward communities, and they have below average levels of education, and they suffer from deprivation of their basic needs. Yeah, I mean, there's a section of that, of course, the larger Muslim community, we enjoy everything what anybody can enjoy, but we have that poor section of the Muslim community, and they are in any city and in any town you go to, you will find those very poor localities where mainly Muslims live, and they have very low educational levels. That is the key problem. Because the parents are generally poor laborers, or they're doing very menial jobs, and they have no means to support their children in even going to the schools and basic education. So that is where we we went to those poorest localities. And at the moment we are running 9 different projects across India.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, that includes from almost all corners of India. There's a town Boisar in Maharashtra. Some of the bigger cities like Hyderabad, Bangalore, Delhi, we have gone there as well. And then we have in Uttarakhand, we have gone to West Bengal, Gujarat. So these are all, like in West Bengal, it is a very small town of Dinajpur. And that particular area is a small village where we are running this project. So we are running all these projects benefiting almost more than 1,000 students at the moment. And what the whole purpose is that how can we do basic things. I mean, the program includes different chapters, different areas, such as a school admission campaign, because these children, they do not even go to the schools. So our teams will go out to those poorest localities, pick up the kids, go and knock the doors of these poorest families. And if those children are not going to school, then we send them to school, the local schools. But even if they go to schools, then they do not have any support at home, to do their homework, So because there's no support, they simply start failing. They cannot do the homework, and they start failing, and then they drop out. Once they drop out, they are back to those child laboring jobs. They work in our homes. They work in cottage industry, in child labor, as child labor in restaurants, and all those places. So what our program mainly runs around the evening classes, where we run evening classes, where these children come and our teachers help them in their day-to-day homework, in their exams, and that way they start passing the exams, they start excelling in their studies.
Wonderful.
And they progress further. So that is what we have been doing. And for this, I mean, one thing I should inform the Sydney community then that we hold a couple of events each year. And the next one particular event we hold is during Ramadan. So we'll be having annual fundraising Iqtedar on Sunday, 17th of March at Bauman Hall in Blacktown.
Okay.
So, yeah, that is an opportunity for all of your audience to come and support this noble cause.
Sure.
Yes. So I think
pardon me, let me just reiterate here that we are with you on this wonderful service that you're doing. And closer to the time, we will do another program for the IMESA Iftar function, so that a lot more people can attend that and contribute financially and so on.
Oh, that will be very good. That will be very kind of you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Carry on with this topic that you wish to carry on with.
So now, yeah, we spoke about this ongoing troubles in Middle East.
Yeah.
And it is very unfortunate what is happening there. And what is unfortunate even more to me is that the community which is involved in this terrible atrocities is the Jewish community, and the one which has prospered post-Holocaust throughout the world, in US, Israel, and in many other regions of the world. And they have excelled in education. They have excelled in modern sciences, in medical research, in law, and most importantly, finance. So historically, the Jews have been astute business people. They were diamond merchants and money lenders during Roman Empire. I mean, a history of more than 2,000 years,
Mm.
pre-Christianity, because Judaism is
Older than Christianity.
pre-Christianity
Yeah,
religion.
that's right. Yes.
Yeah. So even during Roman Empire, they were engaging in all those businesses.
Mm.
And in the Middle Ages as well, and during Muslim rule over of around about 1,000 years, they engaged in those professions. Because one of the reasons was that because most of them were migrant communities,
Mm.
so very often they were not even allowed to buy land and property in those countries. So for them, they engage primarily in urban skilled occupations, in trade, in finance, in medicine. So, and this, they excelled it more during Muslim rule, Although their educational reform started, in fact, in the 1st century after Christ, when they made primary education mandatory for boys in the very 1st century.
Wonderful.
And they should ordinance that teachers had to be appointed in each district and every city, and that boys of age 6 or 7 should be sent there.
Right.
So the synagogues had become the center of activity. So they were not only learning, reading and learning of Torah was prime occupation, but they started engaging in all the modern education. And during Muslim rules, of course, the Muslim rulers, they established great centers of culture, learning, and science. And they produced Nobel scientists, astronomers, mathematicians, doctors, and philosophers. And Jews played important role in this advancement. So, I should say again that Jews were persecuted in Christian countries of the time, and for a very long time. But they flourished in Muslim empires. So, and ordinary Jews moved to new cities due to the comparative advantage because they were more skilled. So they did not stay in villages, and they did not engage in agriculture, but they did go and learn the modern education. And it is with this historical background, and even the modern day Jews are the best educated. So as per the latest statistics, the Jewish population in Israel is around 7.1 million, and the second largest population resides in US with a total of about 6.5 million. In Western countries, from where Jews migrated to Palestine in large numbers in 1940s, Israel was established, so most of them had migrated, so their numbers are small. In Western countries, such as in France, they are about 450,000. In UK, around 300,000. In Germany, 50,000. In Australia, also we have around 120,000 Jewish. So Jews in US, they are the highest income earners and best educated. So major cities have a large Jewish population, which is rich, highly educated, and very influential. And indeed, nearly 2 million Jews live in New York. Los Angeles has about 600,000. So now you can see that in population-wise, they are only around 2.4% of US population. But among the billionaires, more than 30% of US billionaires are Jews.
And they own own big financial institutions. Yes,
that's right. Exactly. You
wonderful.
go to Wall Street, they are all Jews there. Exactly. And now Forbes, who collect all this data on financial achievements of people. So Forbes Israel, which is basically Jews around the world, so they call it Forbes Israel, they represent 267 billionaires throughout the world.
Billionaires.
Yeah, with a combined net of $1.7 trillion.
Marvelous.
Yeah.
Marvelous. The mind boggles.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, and money talks. That's why they are able to do all this over there.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then on the academic front also, I mean, they are top scientists. More than 10% of US scientists are Jews, although their population is only about 2%. So and now that is where, and the educational standard is very high within Israel as well. So now what is unfortunate is that that Zionist movement, which started in Germany, they have become, that Zionist lobby has become very strong in US. And it is comprised of individuals and groups seeking to influence the US government to better serve Israel's interest. So, and the strength is derived because they are so influential, and they have big business houses, and they serve in important positions in public and corporate life, and of course in education and finance. So now that Zionist movement is the key problem. And they, in fact, they do not, of course, they wanted and achieved that all the Jews should return to the Holy Land in Israel. But they have the bigger dreams. They are very ambitious, and they have been promoting the idea of Greater Israel, which is a much bigger region in the Middle East. So, and that is the problem is that they have been running campaigns against Palestinians and Muslims in order to achieve that support, in order to gather support throughout the world. So the issue is that why these best educated and the richest people, why they do not apply the principles of humanity. Yeah.